Welcome back. Exciting game one. Crafty Buckeye joined by Ponux. We got a vicious and delicious win.
Yeah, game one coming out strong out of the gates. Now, something to bring up. We were experiencing some audio issues. There was a lot of background noise right off the hop here. We are filming live from a LAN center in Regina, the Matrix Gaming Center. So we have, in turn, tried to kind of move the party around a little bit. That was causing lots of the background noise. And the Matrix Gaming, they've obviously handled it. It's best of their abilities very well. We can't thank them enough for that. But anyways, back to Vicious and Delicious and Thunderducks here.
It was pretty much a well-executed game. They got the Kindred first pick, strong as heck. We saw how much damage that champion
How strong? How strong?
So strong. But and then you see like the Gangplank. They just never really got that wombo combo, which is what Thunderducks really wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like Thunderducks, they constructed a very well team fighting comp. It was perfectly designed for that. They had the Fiddlesticks, they had the Yasuo. They just wanted to kind of piece everything together and come out with like a clean ace, stuff like that. But Vicious and Delicious played so well around it. They just never grouped. They always kept sticking in the side lane, split pushing. And so if Thunderducks ended up catching somebody, there would always be something going on the other side of the map. There would be Kindred split pushing extremely hard. So it just never really worked out. I mean, it just was everybody would commit so much to one individual, so they ended up picking up Durka or something like that solo, and then but on the other side of the map, there's completely other stuff going on. So it was very well played out by Vicious and Delicious. They really recognized what Thunderducks wanted to do and played so well around.
Yeah, and the Thunderducks ended up having to like reach. They had to grab for any opportunity they could to get gold on the map. They would blow multiple ultimates for one kill, exhaust multiple summoners, and it just didn't exactly work how they wanted it. They wanted that Yasuo. I was loving the Yasuo pick and pick.
Yeah, same.
It was looking like
a
fun game to watch, and I never saw it. They got that early lead, and then they never looked back. They just gave up the dragons. They showed no prioritization in the dragons, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, anyways, guys, we are hopping into picks and bans here with the Thunderducks versus Vicious and Delicious. So we have the first ban, Gangplank, coming out for the Thunderducks here, not wanting to deal with that one again. And we see a similar Nocturne ban coming out for Vicious and Delicious. Pretty easy. I mean, Nocturne is a very strong pick for Metaphor here, so they obviously want to take that one away from him as soon as they possibly can, not wanting to give him the different style comp. They might want to try and keep rinsing and repeating what they had before.
Oh, for sure.
And so Lulu, Fiora, and Shen also banned out of this game. I mean, Mo Money showing a lot of proficiency on that Shen, so it makes sense.
Just switched up the one. They banned Zac. They banned Zac, Lulu, Shen last game. Just switching up, banning Gangplank. It's very strong. I think that's what almost catalyzed that never grouping team comp, because if they did end up fighting, you could always throw Gangplank ult and teleports there, and just like that global presence is there as soon as you hit level 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it seems like they're going to want to try and leave the Zac open to try and maybe bait to Freakers into picking that over the Kindred, because maybe they don't want to deal with the Kindred, right? But we do see the Victor also being taken away from Taeyang. I mean, he's very, very good on that. We've seen him in the regular season, just really controlling that mid lane, having so much pressure and just always constantly pushing the wave into tower, really keeping all the other mid laners into a position where they can't really do much. So we also see the Echo being hovered here. It's such a hard flex pick though, is why I love it. I mean, there's so many different ways you can play Echo. He can go into the top lane, he can go into the mid lane, as well as he can go into the jungle still. I mean,
bot lane? You ADC Echo? Just
you
kidding.
You can't go ADC Echo, I don't believe, unless you want to lose.
Yeah.
Unless you want to lose. But I mean, the Braum prioritization does make sense for Thunderducks. I mean, they've constantly gone back to that every single time in the past they can. It's one of DevMaster's best champions, and it brings so much utility to the team. It has a very strong early game, late game, as well as it becomes a huge tank, as well as it brings so much utility into the late game team fights as well. Poof the Sheep, hovering that Singed. I mean, been talking to him a bit before the games here, and he's always said
level 5
mastery Singed, I'm gonna bring it out. So now he's hovering it, just baiting us. I don't believe they're probably gonna lock that in. I mean, it doesn't work too well in most comps that Vicious and Delicious like to play. The Katarina one also very odd.
These are not going to get picked.
No, you don't think so?
No, Ashe Kindred.
Ashe Kindred.
There we go.
Yeah, I can definitely see these ones being locked in. The Ashe bringing so much engage tools as well, disengage as well, and the Kindred, those ultimates on point. They are completely turn the tides of fight around. If you think you're about to get caught out, Kindred drops the ultimate, and then you can have so much time and room to work with. Gives you a lot of options.
Yeah, and then you usually end up, you might die for it if you're getting ganked 2v1.
Yeah.
But then you also usually pull out a kill with it too. So it's almost like worth going down 1 for 1.
Yeah, and we do see Metaphor locking in the Lee Sin. We have seen him play that in the semifinals there, and he kind of just went off on that one. I mean, he's very strong, and the Lee Sin is exactly his style there. Early game pressure is what he likes. So Lee Sin, I mean, that's kind of Lee Sin's middle name. Lee, early game pressure Sin.
Yeah.
Coming into this game here. And Tiang going to be locking in that Sivir. I mean, again, going with the utility carry. I mean, it's something that he usually does go with. The Karma and the Alistar being hovered here. Very curious picks. I could see the Alistar being locked in again for Mo Money. Had a very good game on that one before, and it brings a lot to the team. Brings the front line, the tank, and they're going to throw Poof the Sheep onto a Gnar here.
They really needed that front line, especially when your jungler is going Kindred. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not, you're going almost full damage. You might build like a Frozen Mallet or something, but tank Kindred isn't really utilized very often.
No, yeah, and just going with a Kindred, you really are opting to have some front line somewhere else, because usually Tafreakers does go with some more tanky junglers like that Zac
or Gragas,
yeah, or Gragas, something like that. And so now that he's going on this squishy style one, they have to kind of compensate that somewhere else. So they're gonna put Poof the Sheep onto that Gnar, and they're gonna put Mo Money on the Alistar. So very good pickups for them thus far. And Poof the Sheep, very, very good at Gnar. That's a very scary champion to put him on, because he's very great with the communication with the rest of the team. Great teleport plays, as well as his ultimates. Like, he makes sure he gets those priority targets every time he possibly can. We see the Yasuo being hovered again here. They might decide to go with this one again. Try it out for a second time, see if it pays off, and they do lock it in. Tiang obviously trusting himself with this Yasuo pick for a second time. Yasuo is something, if it does get behind, it's very kind of risky after that point. If he gets ahead, though, you can absolutely just snowball a game out of control. So high risk, high reward with this Yasuo pick.
And you definitely saw Taeyang fall behind there in the first 20 minutes of the game. And it almost like, they never got that. They got one wombo combo off, and it didn't really pay off and pick bans to the way they wanted it to, because just the lack of grouping for Vicious and Delicious. They had to burn all the ultimates, the wombo combo onto one person, and then the other team pushes towers, pushes inhibs. But the Echo is actually very interesting. I love that pick top. Super hard flex.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's fantastic, honestly. And then, I mean, you're going to go with Mo Money, or what is he going to lock in for the mid lane there? It looks like the Orianna is going to be hovered. I mean, that's a very good initial pickup here. I mean, it rounds out the team very well, brings a lot of offense and defense to the team, just with the command shockwave paired up with the Gnar can be a huge one. Or Alistar, the ball delivery system, as we've seen in the past here. So definitely great comps structured here from both teams. I do like the Kindred, though. I mean, it's so new. It's hard to kind of pinpoint what that's gonna play out as. And I mean, past games to Freakers, he played it. They actually ended up pulling the game off there, but he only ended up having like 4 stacks or something like that. Last game, much more successful. The Kindred, that ultimate, can really turn the tide of fights, and especially paired up with an Orianna who can also turn the tide of fights herself, and a Gnar, it's going to be a huge game.
Yeah, and in its first appearance, it wasn't even utilized to the full potential, but it still caused bans in the next 2 games. Yeah. So I'm interested to see that Thunderducks didn't ban it still. They knew it was probably going to come out. Picked the Lee Sin instead. I'm going to lean this one towards a Vicious Delicious win. What about you?
Well, I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, Metaphor on Lee Sin, he's going to be very aggressive. He's going to be into Freaker's jungle constantly, and he does love to duel as much as he possibly can. So, I mean, it's going to be insane, actually. I can see a very hyper-aggressive style from Thunderducks again, where Vicious and Delicious might try and play that controlled game.
Yeah, and I agree, and we're going to see that coming up in Game 2 after a few ads. We'll be right back.
And welcome back, everybody. We're getting ready for Game 2 here between Vicious and Delicious and the Thunderducks. We had some great pick and bans there. Thanks to Crafty Buckeye and Pawnox for going through that for us. And looking at the 2 team comps we had, Silky Mittens, what do you think?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest, that Kindred made it through into the hands of Tafreakers
on red side.
Yeah. Not banned, did not take in first pick. First pick on blue side used to take Braum.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Thunderducks. I'm not sure that's a huge priority champion anyways for Mo Money. I'm thinking he'd rather have the Alistar in his hands anyways if he's going to go for that kind of disengage or engage champion like that. So I'm a little confused there. I can't believe that Kindred made it through. To be honest, I think it's just too strong of a champion right now.
Yeah, I mean, he tries to compensate with it for the Lee Sin pick, like getting that early jungle pressure. But if Kindred's up, why wouldn't you take it? I feel like it would be a good champion for them as well. I mean, they like to team fight, and even if they're gonna fall behind again, I'm not saying that they will, but you have that ult. It's such an equalizer because you go in, if they're gonna kill you, you ulti, the rest of your team follows up, you deal damage. That's going to be most important, and I think that really should have been prioritized by Thunder.
And it kind of just like screams being a Metaphor champion, something that can gank early and just carry. Metaphor loves to do that.
And invade,
a lot of the time. And invade, you don't just live in your enemy's jungle. That just screams Metaphor to me. I just surprised he didn't take it.
Now, do you think Thunderducks maybe didn't change up their team comp enough? Taeyang went back to the Yasuo. Instead of Ryze in the top lane, they went with Echo, but I think everything else is about the same. Braum, Sivir, and then the Lee Sin was different, but Braum, Sivir, Yasuo staying the same.
Yeah, not sure that they did. I'm not really convinced with Taeyang's Yas, to be honest. I think they just got outplayed. Didn't have a chance to really make much of an impact.
Okay, so I don't think he necessarily got outplayed. I think the poor guy got picked on.
Yeah, Tafreaker set up a tent outside his
lane.
And
Mo Money was there too. Like,
team-wise, he got...
they had a team trailer sitting outside that guy's bush.
Hey, he didn't get mechanically outplayed.
Okay, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Got played in the macro sense of the game. just got camped. Maybe lack of vision, but I know you can't buy a million wards and ward every single angle that.
Agreed, but I feel like it was more well played by Vicious and Delicious than it was poorly played by.
Yeah, I did.
That is true.
I didn't say poorly. I'm sorry. I love you, Taeyang.
Yeah, he just really did get put down there.
I just wasn't convinced with the pick into that kind of style that it looked like we could see early on. They had kind of a split push composition set out for themselves. Kindred first pick and then TF shortly after that.
Yeah.
You kind of got to know that they're not going to go to group up, and so picking Yas there, a little confusing. Now let's see if they can do it here. Now they have a chance to go 5v5 because on the other side of the coin, Vicious and Delicious picking themselves a pretty good team fighting composition too.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, the game is paused right now. That's just why we're taking a bit longer to get into game here. So, bright side, you get to look at our beautiful faces for a little longer. That beautiful guy right there, but the game is paused. But yeah, as you were saying, same side as we were saying with Thunderducks, their team comp, it's pretty much the same, a little different. Vicious and Delicious as well, pretty similar team comp to the first game.
Yeah, not too bad. They're going to be looking at the group a lot more, though.
Less global.
They've got the Orianna now, so they want to group up and get big shockwaves, see if they can shut down some people. Metaphor and a hyper-aggressive jungler here in the Lee Sin. Maybe he can really do well in the early game. I know that Dragon Rage can kind of counter some of what Kindred can do with her ultimate. The Lamb's Respite, you can kick people out of it, stop them from being invulnerable to death. Knock them down, and that Lamb's Respite early on set a few team fights.
It did.
In the favor of Vicious and Delicious.
Now that you bring up that Dragon's Rage kick, I was kind of thinking, I was like, you know what? It's kind of good that you had Kindred on the opposite side when you were playing Fiddlesticks. If you think about it, you go in there with your ulti. If he ultis as well, it keeps you alive while you're still doing AoE damage to everyone. Yeah, it doesn't kill them necessarily, but you're in there, you're not dying, you're doing damage.
It wasn't the worst thing, but
I'm not saying it was the best, but I do like the more aggressive jungler pick because he farmed till 6. Tafreaker's like, go ahead, I'm going to put pressure on the map, and they did. He was all over those solo lanes. A lot of pressure on Panda early. Godpoof going ahead. I mean, that Ryze got shut down a little bit early. Then they just started 4-man ganking mid lane once they got that level 6 Gangplank ulti. And Pulse is actually just Durka sat bot lane, farmed it out, and he didn't get killed. He kept up in CS pretty much by himself, and it was just really greatly played. So now we're going to see this 5v5 kind of headbutt comp. I'm going to see if they can really go at Thunderducks with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting. I think it just comes down to execution for both sides, really. There's an even chance out of pick ban. I'm not sure it's pretty tough to give one side the edge. It really comes down to how the early game plays out, which jungler. These guys kind of butt heads a lot with their style. Tafreakers likes to get in the faces of the other laners, so Metaphor likes to do the same.
Are we going down the line here and making our calls for the game?
Making our calls for the game?
What do you want? Why don't you kick it off?
Why don't you start her off?
Well, based on both teams' team comps here through picks and bans, and based on previous performance of Game 1 and previous in the season, I'm going to have to give the advantage here to Vicious and Delicious. They have just a good team comp again. They kept kind of what worked. They got the Kindred again on red side somehow, which we saw how strong it was last game. And then on the side of Thunderducks, I don't think they changed their game up enough. I don't think they changed their team comp up enough. And just based on how well Game 1 went for Vicious and Delicious, I think I'm going to have to give them the edge here in Game 2.
I have to stick with Vicious and Delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think unless they can profoundly show up with that Braum and make it useful. I mean, if you're first picking Braum when Kindred and stuff is up,
You better damn well
use
it well.
You better show why he's being picked. So if they're prioritizing that, there's a ton of supports that can enable Yasuo for that ulti. Alistar, I'm not saying sorry, but Alistar is also easy. Why are you prioritizing the Braum? I want to see it be impactful if they're saying, all right, we're going to first pick Braum instead of Kindred. And I just feel like Vicious and Delicious, they're very good at adapting to different playstyles. Thunderducks seem to struggle almost adapting to these new playstyles. Yeah.
Boys, it's duck season. I think the duck hype is
Wabbit
You
season.
ran in a duck train.
the
Wabbit
duck
season.
hype is fading slightly.
No quacking on this
No
desk.
quacking on this desk. Not that they're a bad team or anything, but this game,
Of course not. They're in the finals.
Yeah, they
they're
made
in
it.
finals.
They made it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're at least the second best team in SKL here.
Yeah.
But Kindred, I just want to say Kindred is just OP right now. I think that should have been banned or picked first pick, like you all pointed on. I think we're kind of in agreement here that the Braum first pick didn't make sense. It doesn't really fit the style. It's even more confusing than Metaphor's Mundo pick yesterday in the semifinals.
I'm just baffled. It's just, why are you prioritizing something that doesn't need priority?
Yeah.
that the other team doesn't play, and that there's other champions that can do relatively the same job.
Well, and I understand you don't want to give away too much with your solo laners, but
But they just picked Yasuo
yeah,
anyways.
take some other
Yeah.
power pick. I don't understand it. It baffles me, and I just feel like they're gonna dig themselves into a rut if they keep trying to prioritize this. I mean, even yesterday, it didn't look like they were trying to prioritize support every pick.
No, just switching things up here and maybe just a little bit of a down mindset from last game. Losing that,
I'm gonna feel really bad if they're on tilt this game. I think they need to honestly just clear their heads, start brand new, get fresh, go, because it's very important when you're in a best of 5. You got to treat each game like the first game.
You know, maybe they really had some kind of team comp, some kind of strategy based around this mid Yasuo pick, and they need the Braum and the Sivir maybe, and just maybe they weren't able to carry it out in the first game. They weren't able to execute it the way they wanted to. So maybe they just feel so strongly about it. They want to try it here in the second game to see if they can get it to work. But we are finally back in game here. We're looking to get started here. And Silky, who are we looking at today?
On the blue side, we were looking at the Thunderducks. Panda 210 in the top lane playing Echo. In the jungle, it is going to be Metaphor playing his Lee Sin. And it is Tae Yang in the mid lane playing Yasuo. In the bot lane, it's going to be Pulsis and Dev Master J playing that not too unfamiliar Sivir and Braum combination.
I mean, they're prioritizing that pick. That's what he's taking. But, I mean, on the red side, we do have Vicious and Delicious with Poof the Sheep. Bringing out that Gnar in the top lane. We've got Freakers on that Kindred once again in the jungle. Bakery Boy changing it up this game, bringing out the Orion in the mid lane with Durka and more money. Wrapping up the bot lane with Ashe and Alistar, bot 80 carry and support. But they do, however, Panda spots him out with that ward. It's 10 gold for free. Poof. GG, guys. He's got the advantage. It's over already.
Yeah, it looks like Thunderduck's going for the standard line of scrimmage and just the early grouping from Vicious and Delicious, trying to spot out what Thunderducks were trying to do in the early game here. It looks like a duo double jungle here for both teams.
And as we saw, as similarly from the first game, Freakers on the Kindred choosing to mark the enemy jungler first. I don't believe in the first game that he was able to pick up a kill onto Fiddlesticks in the jungle, but still sticking with the strategy of marking the enemy jungler first.
Yeah, I think it just dissuades any action from Metaphor, not going to want to have Metaphor in his own jungle, even though I think both champions, really great early duelists. It'd be interesting to see who would win the 1v1 there, but I think Echo just does too much damage. As long as he had his Q, Dance of Arrows, and the Mounting Dread E, I think Freakers would win that fight in the 1v1.
Yeah, and this may actually pay off a little better for Freakers here in the second game because, as we said in the first game, Metaphor spent most of his time in the early game just power farming in the jungle, so didn't really show up in any lanes, whereas now he's on Lee Sin, Metaphor on the Lee Sin, we're going to be seeing some early ganks, so maybe more likely that Freakers will meet up in lane at some point with Metaphor, so hopefully that mark will pay off better for him.
Yeah, not as dependent on that level 6 power spike, not going to spend too much time in his own jungle is Metaphor, and I think that is kind of more his style anyways. I know he likes Fiddlesticks and is probably Fiddlesticks main, but just missing out on those first few levels against something like Kindred, you need to play an early jungler like Lee Sin. So I do agree with the jungle pickup here for Metaphor in this game. Yeah.
And it's very important that he plays aggressive because he's going to get outscaled by his counterpart, Kindred. We saw Tefreakers 2v1ing on that Kindred last game. Lee Sin not able to do that as he scales. He has a very strong early game, but he does fall off quite hard. So it's very important, I think, for the Thunderducks to get him rolling. And I think this game they really need to prioritize getting Taeyang ahead after how badly they put him down last game.
Yeah, definitely. Taeyang looking for a bounce back performance this time on the same champion. Different matchup. This one's still, I think, in the favor of Yasuo. He's just able to dodge around so much. It'll be hard to hit him with the ball by Bakery Boy, but Bakery Boy going with the teleport this time around, and Taeyang sticking with the exhaust.
Yeah, now do you think that Vicious and Delicious will try a similar strategy to the first game and really have Tefreakers just really, set up camp at the mid lane and really try to put down Taeyang again? Because, I mean, it worked for them last game.
Yeah, really, why not? I think Poof the Sheep has a favorable matchup against Panda. I think Poof the Sheep is just really tanky, but Metaphor is going to make a trip to the top lane early.
As Poof the Sheep now getting low, fortunately he is Meganar, and looks like they will back off. As good timing there happening to have his Narbar full. But what did he burn? He did burn Flash there, so maybe it's, this is the same pattern we saw first game. Tefreakers, that's reversed, of showing up in the top lane and burning the flash of the enemy jungler, and then making a quick return and finishing off the kill. So we'll see if Thunderducks can execute that this time.
Yeah, definitely going to be a little bit of a setback for Poof the Sheep in this top lane. I was just saying how, that matchup isn't too bad for Poof the Sheep. It'll be tough for Panda to try and stick on Poof the Sheep. Poof the Sheep has a lot of ability to kite as Mininar, and just a lot of lockup as Meganar too.
Yeah, it was a very good. Unfortunately, that parallel convergence, though, not able to land. I think that's what did force the flash. That would have been a kill, but Tefreakers is looking for the flank here. Does have someone else marked for death, but there is no vision on him, so Mo Money might go for that signature pull flash here to initiate.
Coming in, there it is, the double knock-up as Tefreakers comes in from behind. Pulse's flash is out, but they're actually not doing too badly here.
He actually flashed as well as spell shielded, so I'm not really sure if he didn't trust himself, that he wasn't sure if the spell shield was going to pick up that headbutt, but maybe blowing that flash a little premature.
I don't think so. I think just Tefreakers does so much damage on Kindred. I'm just curious as to why Mo Money didn't instantly headbutt as soon as he got the angle behind him. It looks like he waited an extra half second, and that half second allowed Durka to come back down from the pulverize and then have time to spell shield. While he's still up in the air, you can headbutt him.
You don't want to headbutt your own teammate, though. I'm just bugging you. You said Durka. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, I mean Pulses.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, no, you got me. Okay, so Pulses. It allowed Pulse to come back down and use the spell shield. Durka's not on that team.
But I think it was more he just wanted to make sure he got the direction, knocking him back instead of knocking him sideways.
Right, but if you let him come back down, you can see the bar. There's a little white bar that shows how long he's knocked up for. As soon as that thing comes near its close, you got to headbutt, or else you're not going to get him anyways. You got to know he's going to spell shield instantaneously as soon as he comes back down.
You got to give credit to Mo Money though. That was
a very nice
fall flash. He consistently hits that, and that's
he does.
Not a very easy thing to pull off. I mean, I'm not an Alistair main. I can't do it. I got the headbutt pull off, especially now that they made it simpler. It's like, oh, thank you, Rito, making this easier for me.
Exactly.
You see the mid lane here, Baker Boy and Taeyang. I think at this point in the first game, he had about 2 or 3 deaths already, so he's doing better already.
Yeah, pulling together, and actually now that he's level 6, once Metaphor hits level 6, it's a very easy follow-up. You use the dragon kick him, and immediately use that last breath hold them in place, essentially, put on a ton of damage. So I'm going to be looking for them to put a lot of prioritization in the mid lane, but we do see Tefreakers going on Metaphor here.
Yeah, still does have him marked, throwing out damage. Metaphor looks like he will be able to get away. And that's what you really want to do with the amount of damage that Kindred can do. Tefreakers, if you find someone doing a jungle camp and they're getting low from that, but actually Metaphor looking to go back in, goes right in on Tefreakers, very low, taking shots from the turret, and actually Tefreakers is the one who picks up the first blood.
And that's actually really huge. Tefreakers was down 2 levels there.
Yeah.
And I think he actually tried to safeguard before he actually followed in with the Q. He safeguarded trying to bait out the flash, then followed it in. But he was in turret range and got
a little too ham.
Used that mounting dread, actually slowed him in that turret range, and turned it around. Trying to go for the kill, but very well played by Tafreakers.
And he got the shield from the tier 2. I'm pretty sure that's what saved him from the red buff burn.
Yeah.
It looks like he was going to burn to death here from that buff, but no, the shield coming online and just saving him after being able to flash away. After Metaphor doesn't have flash, doesn't have Q.
Oh, no.
And, doesn't have a safeguard. He can't follow up anymore, get any closer than that.
Oh, that was just a disaster for Metaphor, really.
Well, it's only 1 kill, so I mean, it's not the end of the world, but yeah, in that situation, that's not what you want to happen for sure.
Not at all.
The one thing that is good for going for Vision Delicious, though, is that kill is going to neutralize some of the massive CS leads going on. There's a 14 CS lead going on for for Panda in that top lane, as well as Tae Yang getting quite ahead of Bakery Boy in the mid lane, being up. Oh, he's only 5 now. Never mind. I thought there was much more, but Metaphor, pretty commanding experience lead there, but giving that kill to the Freakers should even it out a little bit. Tae Yang not wanting to give away that
be
free
caught out in
stat.
the river, trying to get Scuttle as Panda and Tae Yang are there. Damage is going out. Parallel Convergence wasn't able to go, but Poof the Sheep. Flash comes out. Panda now is the one going low as the Time Rider comes out from Panda. Throws down the Parallel Convergence, and Panda picks the kill onto the Freakers. But now other members are there. Tae Yang showing up as well, getting Poof the Sheep very low, and Metaphor picks up that kill. And a 2-for-0 there for Thunderducks. That really started out just catching out to Freakers in the river.
Yeah, that was a very interesting play there. A great ulti, though, by Panda, pretty much catching to Freakers right in the middle of it, and they completely annihilate the poor guy. But great follow-up, and that's the problem with Kindred, is that when you see what camp is marked, everyone can collapse on that.
Yep.
So Tae Yang wanting to deny the stack, so Tafreakers does get that stack, but he loses his life in the meantime, as well as Poof going down once Metaphor joined the fight.
Yeah, and just having the man advantage there as well. Bakery Boy not able to join that fight, so effectively a 3v2. It looked like Tafreakers might get away there, but a lot of flashes being burned to just chase after him, and Metaphor coming back from the fountain picks up one for himself, a little bit of revenge, and kill him to his name. So he's still got that CS lead now, kill, and evens up that stat line with the Freaker. So ahead in this early game.
Yeah, just a really early game lead here for Thunderducks. They're up they're just over 1k gold already. They've got CS, they have big CS lead in the top lane. They're pretty even. They got leading by a little bit in the mid lane and the bot lane, but ahead nonetheless, which is better than they can say from last game.
And this is a huge switch up of switching from just farming out with that Fiddlesticks all the way to level 6, but playing the aggressive Lee Sin, putting down a lot of pressure onto the map, and he's been all over, and he had that experience lead onto Freakers, who's finally caught up, but he's making the plays count. He's blowing flashes, they're helping picking up kills, and this is really good for Thunderducks. Great change up. Should be able to help that Yasuo maybe glide a little easier into that late game.
Panda and Metaphor spending a lot of time in that top lane brush there, trying to see if Poof the Sheep would push out and push up, but Poof the Sheep just going to freeze that wave right in front of the tower, just pick up the CS and the solo XP, while Metaphor and Panda are sitting in the bush. Panda having to share that XP, going to be close enough to the creeps, but Metaphor going to steal some of that away. So a little bit of a favorable comeback there for Poof the Sheep, as he is down in CS.
Yeah, but I mean, the best thing, sit back, farm, don't die. It's the only way you can do it when you're getting out pressured in your lane up. But as far as it goes, I'm surprised we haven't seen Tae Yang. Well, he has been doing very well, though, pushing Bakery Boy into his turret. Hasn't really got aggressive and gone for a kill, but I wouldn't be surprised if Metaphor does try and get something going in that mid lane. Like I was saying, that's a really easy combo to land, but he has to be very careful if Tafreakers is kicking around there. Shockwave, being one of the most versatile ultis in this game, can really turn a fight on its head. Break around, turn around that double kill, but the TPs so far coming up from Vision Delicious, double TPs, haven't seen many TP plays that come out that have been successful. Poop did try and help that last fight, ended up going down.
Yeah, it looks like the Freakers is the focus point of the Thunderducks this game, as he might get caught out here by a roaming Panda and Metaphor, just taking away his own jungle. Not afraid to live in here with that early jungler.
But they will start going at each other, and Tafreakers throwing out a lot of damage. His Metaphor's getting very low here, and Tafreakers actually picks up that kill very quickly, but Tae Yang is there to try and finish it up with the help of Panda, and Tafreakers does go down there. But now Durka getting very low in the mid lane to Pulsis. It looks like he will get out of here, but Panda now might be caught in a bad spot, caught in the middle of 3 members of Vicious and Delicious. Pops the Chrono Break there to go back, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Parallel Convergence going down. Does stun up Bakery Boy, but Panda eventually is going to go down here with Poof, the Meganar, finalizing the kill.
Bit of miscommunication there.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Metaphor going in so early, and it looks like Panda was walking around the red buff instead of coming that way. He went for that Dragon's Rage kick, kind of insect play with the ward that was already there.
Let's be real.
It just goes down immediately.
Across that whole fight, there was a lot of strange things happening. Bakery Boy sombreros.
Yep.
He throws the ulti on himself. Tafreakers doesn't even ult. They kill him. Durka just kind of stands there while Paulson just smacks him in the head, forced to use his summoners to escape. Not really sure what's going on there. Then Panda kind of getting caught out, but Thunderducks are going to start converging onto this dragon here. Going to try and pick it up as Vicious and Delicious can't really respond to it with Poop not having his TP available.
Yeah, definitely a lot of misplays there by Vicious and Delicious, and that fight still went in their favor. 2 for 1 overall, but they do lose the first dragon of the game for that, too, just not having any pressure bot.
Yeah, Thunderducks able to, even though they lost that, I think all in all they lost that team fight there, they were still able, the bot lane was able to pick up the turret, and then they moved to dragon. So really, kind of decently even trade, I'd say.
Worth.
Yeah, worth.
The Shiv being picked up already by Taeying's Yasuo here. He's going to move on to that Trinity Force next, picking up the Phage for himself. And then on the other side of the mid lane, Bakery Boy just having the Fiendish Codex, stopping that Morellonomicon a little bit to get that Seeker's Arm Guard. And definitely just patchwork of items here for Bakery Boy as he finds himself even in CS, but down in kills.
That arm guard is definitely necessary, though. Oh, a weird chrono shift there. Trying to catch him out, but not going to work out. Decent cooldown, though, so he can go aggressive there. They do know they have that ulti advantage, but that arm guard does need to be picked up as Taeying's going to put down a lot of trading with Bakery Boy, able to kind of slide through those minions.
Ooh, but Tefreaker's getting caught out again here. Metaphor and Devmaster J are there, but Panda goes and throws down the Parallel Convergence. Tefreaker's pops the ulti to prolong his life. I don't know if it's going to be enough. He does pick up the kill onto Panda, and looks like they will actually be able to fight off Thunderducks here, as Vicious and Delicious now Mo Money and Bakery Boy coming in. As I think it was Metaphor flashed over the wall there. Mo Money gets the knockups. Ash Arrow misses. Metaphor very low. Will they be able to finish off a kill on anyone here? He gets exhausted. That might be it, but now Poof the Sheep might be caught out here by Thunderducks as he's getting very low. Glacial Fissure splits the uprights, and Metaphor able... Oh, but taking shots from the turrets, and that will be it as the kill credit going over to Mo Money. And just... what's going on?
What is going on with Bakery Boy?
Oh,
Another
yeah.
sombrero on a perfect headbutt pulp on 3 members by Mo Money. Mo Money won't be happy with that one, I can tell you that for free. That was going to be a beautiful shockwave combination with the Alistar there, and just totally missed. Second in a row.
I'm also kind of confused. I'm not sure if Panda understands that the Kindred ulti keeps you alive as well.
Sorry, Durker gets stunned up here by Panda. And looks like they might just walk away from each other, but the chrono break, and Panda picks up the kill. Sorry, continue with your point.
No, that was good. I know he was taking turret aggro, but he should have waited to get that initial heal. He might have been able to survive the last, and then try and run away. Yeah. Because that heal is huge, and it heals everyone in there, keeps you alive. He was taking turret, but his team might have been able to collapse. Metaphor could have shielded him if they needed to get him out of there.
I think just panicked overall.
Yeah, so some really awkward and sloppy team fights, I think, starting out this game.
Both sides.
Yeah, from both teams, not looking anything like they did yesterday, but having a slow start to the game, but it is still very close as we are dead. Oh, okay, like 400 gold, like not even like 50 gold in between the two of them.
Yeah, this is honestly such a close game here. Both compositions just butting heads. Sloppy play, like you said, from both teams. This is very uncharacteristic
not
of these
what we're
guys.
used to from these two teams.
No, not at all.
It's very... yeah, it's very uncharacteristic. I mean, Bakery Boy has been so consistent all weekend, playing that Cogmod, landing skill shots one after another, and it seems like he just can't get the sombrero. The guy's not in Mexico, so I'm not sure what he's trying to prioritize that for. But they're going to go in here. Panda's actually going to put down some damage on the Poof.
They're
not sure you can do
back
this
and forth.
here.
Yeah, Poof the Sheep's Narbar is going to come up right away here, and there it is, as Panda's very low. But Metaphor there as well. Poof the Sheep ults Metaphor back, and that might have been enough to save his life.
I think he was just preemptively ulting as Nard there to stop the insec. There was no flash. Metaphor couldn't have flash kicked there, but you know what? There could have been a ward hop and
Knocked him
Dragon's
back.
Rage backwards, right? So just safety first, kids, and definitely just Poof the Sheep playing careful right now and looking for his opportunity to have that big gnarl. He hasn't really found it yet.
Soki Min's the safety ambassador of SKL.
Confirmed.
Keeping kids safe one day at a time, but they are pushing in on this mid turret here as they picked up that bot turret. Thunderducks have this mid one, and it's decently low as Taeyang has been consistently pushing in the creeps into that turret, and they will take it. That's a nice little gold shift towards their side, but they're still only up a couple hundred gold.
Yeah, this one is insanely close, and I think this one could go the distance. I know I've said that a couple times and been proven wrong, but truly this one's looking to shape up that way. This could be an epic finish like we had yesterday, maybe a backdoor. I'm just going to call it now. There's going to be a sick backdoor for the win.
Some
this
little
game.
X-Peke coming in.
Yeah, I'm calling it. I'm being bold.
I'm not gonna lie, if any of these games live up to the hype of yesterday's games, I'm gonna be excited, because yesterday we had some phenomenal games, And I mean, they came from these teams, so let's hopefully they can bring that kind of energy to this game. But so far, it's a very slow-paced game, very objective focused, I suppose, coming up from Thunder Ducks. Not looking for a lot of team fights. Kind of a sloppy dive there. Going to slow down the game, pull themselves back together, start grouping, and trying to find where they want to go next.
A lot of missed opportunity for Vicious and Delicious. This gold lead could be a lot more in their favor. There's been a couple key cooldowns missed. Poof the Sheep really needs to get a good gnarl. He hasn't really had the chance, but Bakery Boy missing a couple. Shockwaves, and Durka really hasn't had a chance to be useful to his team. He's just been bought, but he's been getting beaten by Pulsus in the 1v1 here. Still ahead in CS, but 1 death to his name, so just not being useful with that Astro quite yet.
But Tafreakers getting caught out yet again, as that seems to be a pattern occurring here. But will he be able to live this time? Pops the ult again, the Astro comes in, and Tafreakers might be able to get out of this again. But no, he does go down. Panda picks with the kill. Now they're going down to more money. There's 2 supports there just trading blows as the 2 teams, but will they back off from each other? Taeyang there. Durka actually gets exhausted and absolutely blown up there by Taeyang, but is forced to back off. Taeyang finishes off the kill there onto Durka. Parallel convergence coming in from Panda. Not going to land. And I think it's about the 3rd or 4th time Tafreakers has just been caught out by, 2 or more members of Thunder Ducks. As this fight's not over yet, as Mo Money now getting engaged on him. He will go down. And Panda, Chrono breaks out. And just poor positioning there by Mo Money. Another
kind of awkward shockwave, only catching Panda there. I know he was trying to save his team, but maybe should have put it a little further behind. But yeah, to Freakers trying to 1v1 Pulses in the back. The rest of the team starts converging, but I love the fact that we saw Taeyang try and use Gromp to dash through the wall. And as soon as he knew he couldn't make it through, he hit the wall, he just flashed and went straight for Durka. But that's scary, man. He almost 2-shot Durka. He did just dash through him, Steel Tempest, and took out 3/4 of his health, then decided to switch targets, but not able to secure the kill.
All of a sudden here, almost 20 minutes into this one, Panda and Taeyang finding themselves up in kills and with pretty good stat lines too, and starting to get those key items that they need to really carry these fights. We were wondering if their composition wasn't different enough this time around, and if this Yasuo pick was going to work. Panda on the Echo, something we haven't seen in a little while from him, but it's turning out to be really great, and these guys are going to start to come online if they haven't already.
Yeah, I think really we did, give him a little grief for maybe not changing the team comp enough, but really I think the big change that has made the difference is Metaphor on the Lee Sin. The play style of the Fiddlesticks in the first game just did not work for them, but as Metaphor goes right in here into 3 members of Vicious and Delicious. He gets knocked up, and he actually will go down before anything can happen as Poof the She picks up the kill. And maybe just as I'm talking about how well the Lee Sin pick is working, but the Astro engaged there onto Devmaster J, and there is another one. And they Thunder Ducks on their heels here, but Momani goes in, knocks up Panda. There's the shutdown. Bakery Boy picks up that kill, and looks like now they will maybe finally back off. Taeyang throws out a whirlwind.
Okay, Silky, before you say anything, to justify, he cannot put the ball past the wind wall.
True,
so that was definitely not Bakery's boy fault.
It did get
in that
stopped up.
circumstance.
It looked really bad.
But Taeyang now in the middle of the floor members gets knocked up, but he might, just 2 ham into Freakers picks up that kill, and that turret will not go down yet, but it will soon, as a couple members of Thunder Ducks we had Metaphor at the beginning of that fight going in too early into ham, then Taeyang on the tail end of it going in too early to ham.
And the start of that fight was actually a misplay by Metaphor there, as he tried to do the kick flash, where you prep the kick first, but screwed it up and just kicked, then flash.
Has Metaphor now getting very low again, but he might actually pick up the kill on to Poof the Sheep here, and he does, with the help of Panda showing up at the last minute, and Tafreakers getting caught out here with Mo Money. Tafreakers pops the ulti, looking to prolong his life. I don't know if it's going to be up. Exhausted is Panda, but Panda does finally pick up the kill onto Tafreakers. Double knock up there for Mo Money, as Panda's now going in, and Pulse is actually the one to finish off that kill onto Mo Money.
Krug's actually doing the dirty work there, picking up the kill onto Metaphor, helping the Freakers out.
Yeah, that's why I paid him off before the game there. I do want to go back to that ulti by Bakery Boy.
Of course.
I wasn't so much making that. I'll explain to you. You guys can't see my face. It was more of like a
very shocked
anguished face, because Bakery Boy really needs something to kind of pick up his confidence, I think, here a little bit after whiffing a few ults. And then all of a sudden he has a really good opportunity to hit a good one, and the wind wall just stuffing him there. It's like, never lucky, man. Bakery Boy just needs to get these ultis going, but unfortunately their Taeyang has the answer.
Yeah, that was actually a great Okay, you know what? It was a good opportunity for Taeyang to try and reinitiate that fight, but then no one really followed up, and they completely collapsed on him. So I think Thunder Ducks maybe take a seat back. They need to fully commit to a team fight. They need to stop going in one at a time, because once that metaphor kick failed, they should have all backed off. They knew that they were losing a team member. They weren't going to be able to fight 5v4, and they just got kited out. So maybe pull yourself back.
Right. I think eventually they came out of that one on top because the kills were tied before that little fight. So they did come out of it on top, I believe, by 1 kill. Just at the end, Morgan, more money going down at the very end out of mana, just caught up trying to save his teammate. And that's the life of his support. But Freakers here with the majority of his kills once again for his team.
Gotta say, guys, I mean, as much as everyone harps on that Pulse's Sivir, he's still doing work. It's just Sivir, but I'm not gonna lie. As a guy who plays AD carry, I commend that guy for sticking with that champion through this meta right now. He's doing it for his team. The utility AD carry really coming out.
Yeah, and when you have a couple other members of Thunder Ducks, like Metaphor especially, kind of a jungle carry, when you have someone like that, and then Panda in the top lane as well, very strong. As we see, team fights starting up here as Momani gets knocked up, Glacial Fissure comes out, and Tafreakers is the first one to go down, and that could be turn the team fight here for Thunder Ducks as they now go into Momani as Panda picks up the double kill. Taeyang did go down to Poof the Sheep, but they might be able to finish off Durka here, and that's the trip picked up for Panda. Can they get more? They're pretty low. I don't know if they're going to want to try. They have the minion wave here for the turret. And it looks like actually Bakery Boy off screen picks up Metaphor. Panda. And they're going back in, and Panda, I don't know why Vicious and Delicious is sticking around.
I am actually blown away by Panda's Echo performance this game. His ultis have been clutch.
He has been absolutely sick, single-handedly carrying his team through the last couple fights, I would say. He had maybe a little bit of like shaky plays early on, not staying in the Kindred ult to get healed, stuff like that, like little things. But here, he is showing up huge, absolutely using that chrono bake to its utmost effectiveness, and like going back into the parallel convergence, stuns up on key members, just doing work here.
To myself, I was actually kind of skeptical of this whole Echo pick. I was like, you know, Panda is a really great Gnar player. Why didn't they pick the Gnar? Kind of sat on it for a while, but I mean, he is showing that he knows how to play this Echo very well, and I don't think we've seen him play it very often. But Taeyang going in onto Freakers here.
Freakers getting actually very low here. More money is there, but Taeyang throws up the wind wall. But they might turn this around as Taeyang gets knocked up, knocked back, and they will finish up the kill there. Freakers picks it up, able to turn it around.
And another stack over to Kindred. He did have Lee Sin marked there. Metaphor, or I had Taeyang marked rather, the Yasuo, sorry. Got Lee Sin on mine, favorite champion. But that's just making Tafreakers even stronger. 6-5-1 now. Saving grace for his team right now is that he scales infinitely. As long as he can keep getting kills on whoever he has marked, he is going to do increased % current health damage on every auto attack, which is just an insane mechanic, if you ask me. But you know what? Just looking for more action here as both teams start to look around Baron now.
At about 25 minutes here, both teams are there, throwing up some vision. They're kind of dancing around each other, maybe looking for an engage, but both teams, it's going to be Thunder Ducks the one here pushing the mid lane.
Yeah, Bakery Boy is able to land a really great shockwave, and they can follow it up with that Gnar CC. It's going to be very scary for Thunder Ducks to try and reinitiate after that fight, because if they prioritize Panda before he's able to ulti, it's going to be a lot of trouble. But going for that Dragon, they immediately turn and start the Baron.
Yeah, so we see Thunder Ducks choose to take Dragon. Vicious Delicious starting the Baron, and will Thunder Ducks be able to get there in time? I don't think they will, as the Baron's about a quarter health now. They should be able to just finish off, but Thunder Ducks do show him Poof the Sheep actually will go down here, and Baron is still alive. Devmaster J throws up the Glacial Fissure, knocks up Durka, and they will be able to finish him off as Taeyang picks up the kill. And Bakery Boy goes down next to Panda. Tafreaker's going to be next here. That ulti keeping him alive for a little longer, but he does go down there here to Metaphor. And the Baron did hard reset, but they will be able to finish it off. And Vicious and Delicious just could not get that Baron down quick enough.
Bakery Boy missing his ulti again. He tried to hit Panda, and Panda actually just rolls out of it. He is not having a very good game here, and it's actually, I've got to say, it's got to be very detrimental to his team right now. Mo Money trying to steal Baron. It seems like they're almost on tilt right now, just trying to find something, but Bakery Boy really needs to pull himself together. He was trying to zone out the rest of the team. There's a great Ash Arrow keeping Taeyang from getting in there, and also a follow-up by the CC, not able to follow up his Whirlwind that hit Durka, but trying to use that shockwave on one member and missing it, that is so crucial at this point in the game. That ulti does so much damage, and it's a game changer. You need to land things like that. when your team is relying on you to zone people.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Bakery Boy was sitting in the mid lane there. They knew that they were on Baron. They couldn't see anyone else on the map. They had wards in the Baron pit itself. I'm not sure why Bakery Boy just didn't peel back to his team. They could have got a wombo off. It looked like they peeled off Baron to try and fight, but Poof the Sheep going ahead of his team and instantly dying, using his Gnarl to push them away, not getting any sort of wombo off, and just disjointed, running in one by one to die, which is not like them, and it's almost like what Thunderducks did last game, right? But now, a great comeback here in this game by the Thunderducks. The duck hype isn't dead.
Back. Quack, quack.
Quack, quack. Hunting season's over after one short day.
Now it's rabbit season.
Rabbit season now.
Rabbit season. Do you think maybe Vish and Delicious, do you think if they would have committed either way, either to finishing the Baron or getting off the Baron and taking out to team fight, do you think that would have been more effective?
Yes.
I think also the fact that Bakery Boy was split from the team, he was in a very awkward position. Like, he could have zoned while being with the team, but he was caught out in their jungle there, and that was huge, I think.
Yeah, he was just sitting mid lane too early, and then all of a sudden the rest of the team came, and Bakery Boy's like, oh, I can't go back to my team. I split off to the side and just get caught, I think, by Metaphor there, while the rest of his team just got obliterated one by one.
As we do see now, Thunderducks did pick up the turret there, and the Ash Arrow wide right.
Fly, I'm like a bird, I want to fly away. It's just like going completely wide there, but this is a great little turn here. Well, not even a turn, they were in the lead, but they grab Dragon, they get kills, they get Baron, now they're getting more objectives here.
And Tafreakers just caught on the other side of the wall, but Metaphor goes right and picks up the kill onto Tafreakers, and they're going to look to go in here. Unbreakable Will is popped by Mo Money, doing what he can, gets the knock up. But they're just as Poof the Sheep picks up the kill. Poof the Sheep goes down there, but it's 3 for 1 right now. And Mo Money's on his heels. He actually knocks Devmaster J back into the team, and that's the triple kill for Bakery Boy. And that's 4 for 2 in the end for Vicious and Delicious, actually.
And this is why I said it's such a versatile ult. You landed, it's a game changer. He catches 2 or 3 people in that ulti. They blow up Panda before he's even able to use his chrono shift, pull himself back into the fight, and he picks up a couple of kills. That's going to turn into more money, but he does get caught out here by Taeyang. Lasagnas, he's floating.
And he drops down there, and Taeyang, actually, that is able to save his life long enough.
Yeah, definitely a good use there of Bakery Boy with his actives. I've said it multiple times, wombo combo teams always have a chance to come back, and if you overextend like that, dive right into the base like Thunderducks just did, they got caught out for it, and they made themselves look a little silly there. It was actually funny there. Tafreakers would have lived through that fight, but Mo Money accidentally headbutting Metaphor right on top of him. Metaphor flashed and then got the kill. Still went down, but Mo Money actually doing work later on in the fight, kind of
knocked Devmaster J
getting
back.
revenge. Yeah, absolutely stunning up Panda and just saving his team, and then able to get 4 kills for 2 there. So Mo Money, making a mistake, but making up for it.
Yeah, I guess in this case, you could probably say that Mo Money does not necessarily mean Mo Problems. Am I right, Desaninator?
I haven't heard that for a while.
I thought we were going to make it through. I honestly thought.
We almost made it.
I knew coming in here this morning that I had to break that out at least once today.
Game 2. It is brought out, and my day is ruined. No, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, it's actually finally we also get to see Metaphor use that Dragon's Kick, kicking Tafreakers out of that ulti, so we're going to be looking for that a lot more often. But now Vicious and Delicious going to start looking to pick up some turrets here, as they only have 2 taken off the map. So like I say always, there's gold, you just got to find it, and right now Vicious and Delicious are finding a lot of it as they get 2 turrets, so they're getting engaged on
The fight will start. Panda throws in the parallel convergence and gets Bakery Boy very low as Tafreakers is exhausted, and the Glacial Fissure comes out from Devmaster J. And there's fights going on all over the place here, as Metaphor actually is the first one to go down, but 2 kills go back the way of Thunderducks. And now they're going out of the double here for Taeyang. Knocked up our Devmaster J and Taeyang by Mo Money. He's just going to run out, and Pulsis picking up a kill there, and the 1 for 3 at this point for Thunderducks, and they're going to look to push.
A beautiful flank there from all sides by the Thunderducks, coming in from all sides. The flank by Pan, able to get that parallel convergence on Bakery Boy, instantly chunked because just stunned up, taking an immense amount of damage, able to flash away from that one. And once again, Poof the Sheep and Bakery Boy not able to chain up their huge ultimates on that one. Bakery Boy zoned from that fight completely. It can't go close enough to put in the ball, get that command shockwave off, and Poof the Sheep just goes down right in the thick of that one.
Yeah, he took, Bakery Boy taking a lot of damage early on there. That really set the pace for the fight. He was immediately had to retreat and had to blow his flash and wasn't able to get a decent shockwave off, catching multiple members. But that is now Dragon number 4 picked up.
When did they get 4 dragons?
They've been very
just
on top of
happens,
their
man.
How
objectives.
does that really sneaks up on you.
It really does. That's you always got to say 1 turns into 2, but then 2, 3, 4, and 5 come quickly.
That is how the progression of numbers works.
That's
Silky,
right. But I'm saying
you.
it seems like 1 and 2, it's okay. But then the last 3 seem to come really quickly. It really sneaks up on you.
Can confirm, Silky knows how to count to class.
Did go to kindergarten,
five.
right? My mother is a kindergarten teacher, so I was, I'm pretty good in that department.
You got like after school lessons too. Do you ever need help in kindergarten?
Still do sometimes. Mom, what's after the letter F in the alphabet?
Nothing wrong with that. That's why she's here. But I mean, as far as we go, Thunder Ducks have actually been very on top of these objectives. I mean, look, they got 4 dragons. They were quick to react to that Baron.
5
They've been
turrets.
very good at taking the turrets. Yeah, I think if they play the turrets a little safer, try and get the poke instead of full on diving, it'll go a lot better for them. Like you said, wombo combos can turn things around. So the over aggression will definitely be punished if Thunder Ducks try and take way too much.
Yeah, and it may look like Thunder Ducks. I mean, they do definitely have a lead here, but I wouldn't call it huge. Like, they're only up by about less than 7k gold. They're only up by 7 kills. Vicious and Delicious, by all means, is still in this.
Oh, it is definitely still anybody's game, especially with the team comp Vicious and Delicious has. It has so much potential to come back. And as I was saying last game, Kindred with that ulti, if you aren't behind, it definitely makes a difference.
Ooh, a Metaphor getting engaged on now, gets knocked up there and just gets really melted as Dirk is the final one to pick up the kill. But now Dirk can get engaged when the Glacial Fissure comes out. Members getting knocked up all over the place. And who is going to be the next one to go down? Taeyang picks up a kill. And Zonia's just popped there for just stunned up there was Bakery Boy. Taeyang now doing work, gets the double kill. Well, Money now, and Poof the Sheep just going to want to retreat, as that's, at this point, a 1 for 3 but Poof the Sheep goes back in. The Gnar ult not going to do enough, and Pulsus picks up the kill, finishing off Poof the Sheep. Maybe regrettably going back in there, even though he did kill Panda. But now Mo Money looking to go in onto Pulsus here, and Pulsus just gets taken out by the turret.
Way over aggressive, and like we said, you're gonna punish those plays. But another great team fight coming out, and the wind wall actually blocking the shockwave once again. Taeyang has Bakery Boy's number this game. He's got to be frustrated. I mean, the first couple ultis, maybe was kind of on him, but these wind walls have actually been blocking it from really getting in the midst of a team and making it only catch about 1 person with it. But once again, just great collapse there, even after Metaphor got caught out and didn't even get an ability off.
Yeah, before this game's over, Bakery Boy's going to have himself a baker's dozen of missed ults. Honestly, just getting shut down in a couple departments, missing a couple himself, but totally Taeyang just shutting him down. Like I said, have his number. Seems like he's going to call him after this game and congratulate him on the 2nd place or something like that. Man. But you know what? It's shaping up to be a great series so far. Thunder Ducks have really came back after a sound victory by Vicious and Delicious. Now it's Vicious and Delicious who have to work on this comeback game, work on what they're going to do here, and it almost seemed like they found it there, pick off Metaphor, but once again, just can't find that great team fight.
Yeah, and I think after that first game, we may have actually underrated the Thunder Ducks. That first game, it was really just so decisive in favor of Vicious and Delicious. We may have forgotten a little just how strong the Thunder Ducks are. This is a team that was in first place for, I'd probably call it about half of the season. Then Vicious and Delicious surged forward, and they took first place for maybe the latter half of the season. But Thunder Ducks, they're here for a reason. They're in the finals for a reason. As this team fight, Panda goes right in, gets knocked up. Glacial Fissure comes up from Deadmaster J there, as Bakery Boy is going to be the next one to go down. Freaker's picking up a kill there as well, and Exhausted is to Freakers. Fights going on all over the place. The Defreaker's ult comes out, the Kindred ult, and the shutdown onto Taeyang now. Deadmaster J picks up the kill onto Durka as Defreaker's now do what he can to maybe clean up, but Pulsus is very healthy here. Just throw out some boomerangs and hopefully should be able to clean up some kills, just be the garbage man. But it looks like they will be able to back out. And Silky, what do you think?
Well, I think that fight went really, really well for Vicious and Delicious to start that off. They had the perfect opportunity to win that fight after catching out Panda pretty much for free, not allowing him to use his ultimate to heal up there, not getting out of that one. But then Bakery Boy just not with his team. It seemed, I don't know how he got there, but he was on the other side of the Raptor wall having to flash over Metaphor, following him easily, and then Poof the Sheep wasting his ult, trying to maybe last-ditch effort save Bakery Boy, but not getting it. Just Gnaring, just Metaphor into the wall there, and the rest of the team just continues.
For how good that Whirlwind 4-man last breath landed from Taeyang, I can't believe that Vicious and Delicious walked out of that team fight even. Very well played. Another really great combo there. They used the Kindred ulti, keep them all alive, and then Mo Money headbutts them out. getting the kill, securing that. They get away, but that was unreal. But yeah, that was a great flank there by Thunderducks. It was just maybe Panda going in a little too early. And actually, they just knocked him out of being able to use the parallel convergence. He was just on the outside of it, and Durka would have been pretty screwed.
Yeah, not able to use a chrono break, of course, to get out of that tight spot is pretty huge. I think as soon as he would have been hitting the ground from Mo Money's pulverize, he would have been able to press that one, heal back up, and that could have been a clean ace on the other side for Thunderducks if that had not been the case. So good on Vicious and Delicious to catch out one of the more fed people on Thunderducks, but now you're looking Taeyang starting to get kills for himself, Pulsis getting some items and kills for himself. Now Panda's not the only threat.
And Baron is up. Dragon is also up in 20 seconds. They are going to try and get the flank here as they were trying to bait a Baron, but the rest of them don't matter.
They want it right now as Devmaster J gets sucked in there. Getting very low. The Asher comes out. Glacial Creeper coming up from Devmaster J as well. And damage going out all over the place, but no kills picked up yet. As the 4-man knockup there by Poof the Sheep. Getting some people into the wall. This fight going in favor of Vicious and Delicious at this point. Will they be able to finish it off?
That was it. That was what they were looking for. I'm not sure how many people Bakery Boy was able to hit with his ult. I think it was used in a more defensive manner. But
got
Poof
stopped by a wind wall again.
Did it get stopped again? Poof the Sheep, though, with the patience, holding on to that Gnar ult. And
sorry, that's Dragon number 5.
Dragon number 5 aspect of the Dragon going over. I'm not sure that they can do this. They have no one to tank this up.
Oh,
absolutely no one.
This is the mistake they made last time, too.
But they have Lamb's Respite. If they can go, Poof the Sheep is there.
And that goes down a lot quicker.
And Freakers absolutely destroys these jungle camps and the Baron and Dragon, so able to do that. Probably actually could have sold it with Lamb's Respite if he would have stepped away from Baron and used his ultimate so that the Baron didn't get saved. That's a
Poof the Sheep single-handedly turned that fight around.
Wow.
Great timing on the Narbar.
Absolutely huge, and we haven't seen. This isn't the first time we've seen that from him.
No,
he is clutch with those when it really counts. Poof the Sheep is someone you can count on.
I think he's really. Poof the Sheep on the Narbar probably responsible for a lot of our SKL plays of the week. He's probably. There's got to be.
No, it's Panda and Poof, actually.
Yeah, both of them on the Nar, yeah. There's at least one of them makes the top 5 plays of the week every week with some just a dope Gnar ult.
Yeah, great patience. He's kind of used his Gnar ult as defensive, only on one person trying to save people, but this time says, no, I'm going to hold on to it, wait for the perfect moment. I think everyone in the Thunderducks kind of forgot about it, not used to it not being used to start the fight, but instead just right at the end, putting all 4 into the wall. They're able to pick a couple kills out for themselves. But now on the tail end of this one, 5 dragons to 0.
Oh, that's scary.
It's a pretty good. It's a pretty good consolation.
The aspect of the dragon is actually only on 3 of them. I believe it's only on Metaphor, Taeyang, and Pulsis. But like you were shrugging at me for it, it doesn't matter. That's still a huge stat, and you have it on you have it on some of the carries. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, especially when you yourself, as Vicious Delicious, have 0. It's tough to find that kind of advantage back. That's a big buff.
But the thing is, they did trade it for Baron, which means they will have a little bit of harder time pushing in as they have those super minions coming in towards or not the super minions, but the empowered creeps, as well as a decent amount of wave clear coming out from Tefreakers, Durka, and Bakery Boy.
Right, but that 8% now doubled to 16% extra AD and AP alone is so magnified late game, it's unreal. You know, that 8% additional AD may be like 10 extra AD when you first get that first dragon, but now at the 40-minute mark, that's going to be a hefty amount of AP and AD for this team fight, an eventual dive, I'm assuming here, by the Thunderducks.
I don't even know if they necessarily need to. Their side waves are pushing in quite a bit here, so they could just pressure the map.
Good wave management.
I feel like they're hungry. I think they want it.
Yeah,
I mean, last
time that they dove, it gave Vicious and Delicious an option, a window, anyways, to pull themselves back into the gold lead here.
Absolutely. Trinity of items picked up on Tang. He's got that Triforce, i.e. Static Shiv. He's got the Merc Treads as well, building his way up to maybe a Blade of the Ruin King or a Bloodthirster with his 4th item there, having the Vamp Scepter in his inventory. And now I think we're starting to see the point where Metaphor is really becoming... he's not irrelevant because he's Lee Sin, right? But he's just fallen off now.
Yeah.
His usefulness has dropped significantly. It's really going to be up for him to get really good ultimates off, or else he's just going to be not doing too much in these fights, I don't think.
I wouldn't say that his usefulness is gone, but more his damage. The early game damage is where it's about, but his utility in his kit is still pretty good. He can kick around, he can gap close, he can slow target, shield target.
Oh, but the damage coming out there, the knockup from Mo Money, and that's not what Thunderducks wanted. As Durka picks the kill out onto Metaphor, as he has fallen off, as you guys were saying, and they are just able to fight off Thunderducks there right away.
And I mean, for every ulti that he missed, he just made up with it here.
The Sheep goes and knocking back Pulsus and Devmaster J. And it looks like they will both go down, as that's 3 members down for Thunder Ducks.
Wow.
Bakery Boy just redeemed himself with 1 ulti.
Yeah, that entire game has been made up already with that huge one. This might turn the tides. This might be the TSN turning point of the game.
TSN turning point.
It's really too bad that Poof the Sheep wasn't there, not even the TP available, not ready right there. That would have been an absolute amazing shockwave into Gnar ultimate. But instead, Poof the Sheep just coming, making that long trek from the bot lane where he was just defending the side wave and just flashing ults and get more kills for his team there.
I actually don't even think I could recreate the face I made when he landed that ulti. Like, I didn't actually even see it coming.
Could you try, now that we're on cams, could you try for us right
pure
now?
It's kind of like, I was like looking at it, I was like,
Yeah. And
it was dirty though. Like, I actually didn't even see the ball there. It was an excellent ult.
And he missed. How many do you think he missed early?
Okay.
6?
Time out. No. I'm defending this guy. We cannot bludgeon him.
I'm not.
No. I know. I would say he missed 2 on his own part.
Okay.
But I would
And
say
then
he had a
wind
majority
walls.
wind wall.
Okay, but then all you need, he lands that 1, and that's all you need. You can miss him all game, but if you get that 1 at that decisive moment, that's all you need.
Yeah, it's a good thing the rest of his team has kind of been able to be around him and support him and just get kills on all sides of the maps. Tafreakers has been ahead for a little while on Kindred, getting some kills on himself, infinitely scaling the top lane too. Poof the Sheep been really huge for himself. So Bakery Boy has a support cast around him, and now Bakery Boy's starting to make the plays, and he's already got that cast around him. They're ready to go, and we're just going to see what they're going to do as we've got a pause here. One of the teams has disconnected, I think, or had connectivity issues. So we're going to get that sorted out.
Laying on land.
Once again. So where do you think Vicious and Delicious look to now? There's no Baron on the field to take. There's no Dragon, I don't think. They just got to push a wave here, but they're all pushed in.
I honestly think they're approaching this properly. Sit under that turret. I don't think that Thunder Ducks have the greatest siege.
Right.
You look, they only really have Sivir to deal the damage. The rest are melee champions. If they can bait them in to try and take one of those turrets, like you said, we have a wombo combo, and they don't even necessarily need to engage with the Orianna ulti in fear that it's going to get wind walled. Build up that Gnar bar. If they overcommit, throw them into a wall. What easier setup could you get for that shockwave?
But like right now in the game.
Oh, right now after they just got those kills.
So do you think they just cover the
Turret by
bases,
turret.
the bases, and just push out all lanes, or do they go for one lane, just try to get turrets?
I would say one lane, just turret by turret. Maybe try and push out the other waves, but it's very important that you don't overcommit. You take a little bit at a time and slowly pull yourself back in, because you get an advantage like this. You start pushing too many turrets, you overstay, you get aced, you're going to lose more objectives than you were gaining.
Right.
So I think they're just going to take it slow.
Yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about that Orianna ult that seemed to come out of nowhere. I think everyone just forgot that Baker Boy could just use it just out of the blue. 4 people grouped up there, a huge shockwave, bringing a lot of people low, and then the Ash arrow followed, the Enchanted Crystal arrow came in, tons of damage, and Poof wasn't even there. Imagine if he was there. It would have been so good, but I think that's why they weren't expecting it. It was because Poof wasn't there.
Well, and the thing is, you always try and anticipate, you always watch the ball. So when you see the ball moving towards you, it's always like the threat of, oh no, shockwave could come in, but it was just sitting there.
It was instantaneous, and he put it out there, and they just walked over it.
I don't even think it moved for a while. I think it was just chilling there, and people were like, oh, it's just a minion or something, and then just boom.
Yeah.
And it was clutch, completely. And that's the thing. I think if they can take out the Yasuo, it's going to be a lot of problems. Not that Panda isn't doing a lot of damage, but if they can get rid of the Yasuo, it kind of takes away that multi-man CC that can be followed up by the Glacial Fissure.
Right.
So I'm very excited to see where this goes from here. I mean, our Vicious and Delicious is going to be able to make that comeback that they've been able to do. I mean, look at Game 3 between them and Fellowship of the Nerds. They were down quite a bit. They played very smart. They never overcommitted. They slowly took their advantages, and then eventually the team was like, oh no, okay, we got to finish this. Let's try and kill him. Started running in. I mean, if Thunder Ducks make the same mistake, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, looks like we're going to resume back into the game here. As we've got our problems all sorted out. Poof the Sheep, that is top lane, not going to spot out Taeying. That's 3 members dead after that fight in the top lane here. And it looks like they're not going to push out anything. They're just going for the push out all the waves, get the waves pushing back towards the Thunder Ducks now. I think Vicious and Delicious could be a little bit more confident now. Once they get the side lanes in their favor, they can push out and look for these team fights, maybe not under their tower. They didn't need the tower there.
No.
They have the confidence, and I think they could fight away from their base, and they might look for, start to pick up some drags themselves, start to pick up tier 2 tower or two. I think they've got some more wind in their sails.
So what do you think? What do you think is going to be the decisive match? The decisive, I guess, the biggest decision here to end the game. Is it going to be? We're upwards of 40 minutes here, which means death timers are going to be very long. Do you think it's just going to be one team fight and that could do it, or do you think maybe is it going to be a Baron then a push, or what?
It's very hard. I mean, with that 5th dragon coming up once again in the next minute, I'm not sure Vicious and Delicious can afford to give Thunderducks that 5th dragon once again. They don't have the threat of, okay, you guys take 5th drag, we'll go Baron this time. It's just dragon that's coming up. They don't have the inhibitor advantage, but I think if Thunderducks are able to get an ace, they should be able to push through since they have those tier 2s down. As for Vicious and Delicious, I'm not sure they have enough time to cut through the 4 turrets, the inhibitor, and the Nexus.
It's going to come down to execution in the team fights. It's really the gold lead now 3K, but that's almost non-factor here this late in the game. This late in the game, a gold lead like 10K would make a difference, but 3K, not too much. That's not bad. I think it's spread around on a few members. So it's really just anyone's game. Big Booty Bodie just said that the death timers are starting to get long, and just one pick or one small thing could set the result for this game.
Yeah, and I was just saying, the later this game gets, just the more irrelevant the gold lead becomes. And to be honest, the game's been so even that there really hasn't been, as the Ash arrow goes in now. Momani with the double knockup, but his team? Darshan? As Metaphor's there getting hit out here. Glacial Fissure comes up from Deadmaster J as Bakery Wig's exhausted, but Tafri just picks up the first kill, but Momani getting chunked out now, and he will go down to Pulses, but now Taeyang caught in a bad spot, and Poof the Sheep picks up the kill onto him. And will Vicious and Delicious look to follow up here as they have the numbers advantage, but Poof the Sheep gets Meganar. Will he look to go in on anyone? No one there available to be ulted on, so maybe we'll just back out here. But oh my gosh, Pulsis almost able to finish up the kill into Durka, and Durka's got to get his butt out of there.
Does have the Guardian's Angel though, but that's pretty key that wasn't popped. Freaker's gonna find Pulse here. Pulse is definitely gonna go down. I don't know if Pulse has flash or heal, but Freaker doesn't have the follow-up though.
But now Panda actually goes down to Poof the Sheep, and Deadmaster J getting hit on here. Flashes, unbreakable shields up, and they will look to take this dragon to ensure that the Thunderducks do not again get 5th dragon.
Yeah, Pulses did have flash and heal available, so he probably wasn't in any danger of getting chased by Tafreakers there. Ultimate almost available for Pulses as well, but that was a strange team fight for sure.
Very strange.
Mo Money looking to be the disruptor in the back line of Thunderducks, and at the same time Metaphor going in pretty much 1v4.
Yeah.
But a pretty good key knock-up here by Devmaster J allowed Taeyang to enter the back line and almost do total work for the Thunderducks. He almost took out Bakery Boy, almost took out a couple members there by himself, but he almost did it, but he didn't, so that was the kind of turning point of that fight.
Well, and he definitely needs his dive buddy, and if Metaphor keeps going down so early, there's not much disruption they can do. It's pretty much Taeyang against the world. Windwall can only block so many abilities.
Well, they say never dive without a buddy, right?
I think that's what you...
Oh, that's scuba diving, my bad.
Oh, okay. I was sorry, I missed the reference there, but...
I just died inside a little bit. But I mean, going forward, yeah, Metaphor needs to stop dying so early because it's putting them at a 5v4, and I feel like that's how every fight has gone lately for Thunderducks. Someone gets caught out, they kill them, it's
usually
5v4,
Metaphor.
And Vicious and Delicious going forward. So they really need to coordinate him going in a lot better because, yeah, he's trying to get the Dragon's Rage kick to initiate maybe a Lee Sin ult or just disrupt something, but he's getting CC'd before he's able to do anything, and Mo Money hitting up that backline, delaying that, is really going forward and helping them kill Metaphor before he's able to be effective with his team.
Yeah, Metaphor forcing it a little bit in that regard, just trying to go and make a play, but just going in pretty much going in dry. Like he's just going at them, running at them 1v4 and trying to get that kickoff. But if they see it coming, they're gonna stop it. And Mo Money's gonna stop that 100% of the time. And in that last fight, I do want to highlight that Panda was pretty much a non-factor. Mo Money catching him out early, they thought maybe they'd be able to get a catch on Panda, but just zoning him. Mo Money playing that disruptor in the backline really saved his team. They came out ahead in kills, and now they're sieging.
Yeah, we see Mo Money just going to tank this turret here, and it will go down. And just like that, I mean, this game's been pretty even, but Thunderducks have kind of had the lead for most of the game. But with this, Vision Delicious now are the ones pushing, and now they are walking towards Baron.
As we said, small leads. They won a team fight. They got their first dragon. That's pretty big at this point in the game. You're getting an AP and an AD boost at this point when you have all these stats. That is wonderful for them.
And that Ash Arrow does not land on anyone, unfortunately.
Not sure how I feel about that, just going for Metaphor there.
Oh, but now Metaphor and Taeyang going in here. Parallel Convergence came out from Echo there, but Metaphor going to be the first one to go down here as Bakery Boy popped his own. Just but Poof the Sheep goes in very low. Is Meganar will not be able to finish anyone off as Pulsus is the one to finish off the kill there. Taeyang throws out a Whirlwind and Durka is there. Oh, and it looks like he will be saved there by Mo Money and is able to get out. And in the end, did that actually end up just being a 1-for-1? Oh, but Mo Money finds Taeyang.
Oh.
Taeyang maybe picking a questionable spot there to try and back, but they will. Looks like they won't be following up on that. And will they look at Baron now with how fast Kindred can take down that Baron? They will look at it.
Absolutely. They're going to take this one for free. They've got to go back. Thunderdogs got to go back and defend the side lane. They're going to defend the tier 2. They're not going to be able to contest that one with low health bars. And Tafreakers really only needed Mo Money there to tank it up. Could have done it easily himself. That was a bloodbath, and that was very close. Only one member each going down in that entire
Devmaster
fight.
J actually did a lot of work in that fight. He put that Unbreakable up, and it actually saved Taeyang and Pulsus because Durka's auto attacks were being forced onto Devmaster J, which killed Poof.
Couldn't get him through, yeah.
So could you say that Devmaster J is making this Braum pick worth the first pick? We said if he's going to pick it first, he better damn well make it worth it. Is he doing it?
He's actually played very well this game. I still don't like it as a priority pick, but he has played very well this game. I still think some of the power picks could have gone on their way, but because honestly, I'm feeling like this Lee Sin is starting to fall off. Metaphor didn't use his ult until last second, and it really didn't have any effect. He just kicked Tafreakers away from everyone else, and that was the end of it. It didn't set up a play. It didn't set up a pick. And I just feel like if that Kindred is open, take it away from Tafreakers because he's proven to be very strong on that champion.
Yeah, we're going to get away from Champ Select here as that is over and done with. Tafreakers might be caught out here.
Yeah, Metaphor now going in here, and Tafreakers just caught in the middle of Un, just gets absolutely chunked out there. Couldn't even ult as Durka now gets exhausted, knocked up by the world, and he goes down as well. That's 2 down, 70-second death timers. That's now. Game. Is that game?
If this is what Thunderducks could do the entire time, is the Metaphor. This is what I was telling you about, the instant Dragon Rage kick into the last breath. You keep them in place, the rest of your team hits it. And this is the first time I think we've ever seen Thunderducks go in as 5 and just follow up Metaphor so he's not caught out by himself. So they should be able to get a good push. I don't think this is game, but they should be able to pick up a decent amount of objectives while pushing here. That Baron buff going to definitely help out with the defense.
Yeah, this is definitely a game here.
They are going in right now. They're going in on a Poof the Sheep right now. More money there as well, but Poof the Sheep does have Meganar, and they're kind of not prioritizing one particular target here, not focusing anyone. And actually, Taeyang gets very low and almost goes down. They will finish off the inhib right now, and they will just back out, and this will not be game.
I was wrong. Yeah, they extended a little bit too far and able just to delay it. Wow, when have I ever been wrong? Poof the Sheep just using that ultimate, just pushing people away. I think Metaphor actually kicked Bakery Boy away, which is a little suspect there. I don't think you want him further away, even if he still got the shockwave off regardless. You want him close so that you can maybe pick up that kill and maybe look at ending the game, but just pushing him away, trying to put all their focus on Poof the Sheep, who is tanky as all heck here. You've got a Randuin's Omen, Deadman's Plate, and a Thorn Mail on top of the Black Cleaver. So maybe I think they could have ended there if they would have played it. It would have played out a little bit differently. But
I would agree with you. But I think if it was any other champions besides Orianna and Gnar, they just have so much CC as well as Alistar.
They're fighting for the dragon here as Thunderducks want that 5th dragon. They want that aspect, but it will be Vicious and Delicious who picks it up, denying the 5th dragon again for Thunderducks, and they will be able to just walk out unscathed, and that's going to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, Metaphor, I don't know if he smited early or just didn't have smite available, but Tafreakers walks in there and is able to pick that up. That is huge, actually. That's going to be able to delay the game even longer. They're not going to get that huge power spike you get from that 5th dragon.
That fight could have went a lot worse as well for the Thunderducks. Bakery Boy, I was looking at that shockwave cooldown. It just barely came up at the tail end of that fight. A couple seconds earlier, when they're all grouped in that dragon pit, could have been disastrous for the Thunderducks.
Yeah, they really have to pick their fights because, like we've been saying, those death timers are at the about 70-second mark. And
more than 70 seconds.
Oh, and with
80 seconds.
And with pretty much open bases, you have to be so careful because that is definitely enough time to just shred any objective you have. I think if we start seeing a few more Ash arrows land on those long distance, that they're able, not saying that Dirk has been playing bad, he's going for those really long arrows. I think if he saves his arrows and uses them a little more defensively instead of trying to make those huge plays, they might be able to converge on the CC target a little better, find themselves a more optimal fight.
Yeah, and maybe not go for Metaphor with those long-range arrows. That might be a little bit suspicious there, but it looks like it's going to be the split push by Thunderducks. Going to bring 3 members to this bottom side now. Only Poof defending for now, but the rest of the team looks like they might want to collapse on this one with Panda away from the fight, but does have teleport available.
Yeah, maybe we'll look for a teleport play there as maybe before we get into some action here. Are we looking at one of our longest games this season? We're at just hitting 53 minutes now. That's getting up.
I feel like we've gotten close to this, but if it goes any further, I think this might be the longest
this
one.
weekend, we do see the arrow go out.
Will it land? Wind-walled. That's the problem. You guys are talking about maybe having less long-range arrows. When you do it long-range from that, you see it coming a lot longer.
And they can anticipate it, and they have abilities like Wind Wall or Unbreakable. Braum can just jump in front. You do still take the stun, but none of the AoE stuff goes on there as well as the damage.
And it's not like that arrow came out of the fog of war there. There's a ward in the lane put there by Deadmaster J. That's going to spot that one out immediately. Going to be able to react to that one, even just probably sidestep it even.
Yeah.
I want to say
when it's
the
coming
wind wall.
From that long.
Yeah, but if you got the wind wall, just throw it up there. The wind wall, as you level it up, obviously grows in size, so able to dodge a lot of that.
Panda was pushing in that top lane. They have the super creeps coming in the mid. They got the top lane pushing towards them, and Panda's going to sit on that fountain. He does have the home guards available, so the second Vision Delicious try and look for something, he's going to TP in. But the problem is, if they get a good wombo, I don't know if his TP will be fast enough to react.
On the ward there, and Panda goes right in. Throws out the parallel convergence, but Metaphor getting very low again here. So Freakers actually picks up the first kill. Meganar ults two members into the wall, and Pulses and Metaphor are down as Vision Delicious are turning this around, but they go back, and Taeyang goes down. Poof the Sheep doing work on this Meganar, but it is a dub picked up for Panda. And
they won that fight without Shockwave. Once again, Bakery Boy sombreroed at the start of the fight. And somehow, a great Poof the Sheep actually getting another great Gnar ulti. And like we were saying, the wombo combo, you don't even need the full effect of it to keep yourself in. But I'm not sure. Thunderducks maybe trying to force that fight once again too much.
Yeah, and I want to say the co-MVP of that fight, if it wasn't Poof the Sheep, is definitely going to be Mo Money. He delayed 2 members executing that dive. Once again, Metaphor found himself alone in the backline because Mo Money, the excellent headbutt Paul onto the follow-up Panda, found himself delayed in that fight, but he almost turned it around. Now, I do want to say Panda tried his hardest. He got delayed into the fight, came in at the end, got a double, pretty much 1v5, just hopping around with the chrono break, the parallel convergence, and almost getting one with the Zanyas, but wow, that was such a good fight there by Vicious and Delicious. And this is just going to mean more map control for themselves.
And his Alistar play is actually just phenomenal. I think sometimes it just goes a little unnoticed by us, but the skill he has on that champion, especially for a champion that he didn't play until they got into SKL. He had never played Alistar. I actually talked to him a bit yesterday. Said he picked it up just for SKL, but he's looking like he's been playing that for years. But
Red team does pick up Baron pretty quickly there.
And I've got to say, I'm pretty sure that's been 3 straight Barons for Vicious and Delicious, and they've held on to this game. And this is where we were talking about that Lee Sin's been outscaled by Tefreakers, and Tefreakers is going to deal a lot of damage on that Kindred while keeping its teammates alive with that ulti. So the Thunderducks really losing that window where they had that huge lead to really end the game.
Yeah, Metaphor has lost almost his usefulness. I mentioned earlier that he was going to lose his usefulness. He still got the utility, but just becomes harder and harder to execute the Dragon Rage pick to some sort of good effectiveness. He's really just going to peel. He's going to try for the insect, but that just gets so hard, especially with Mo Money on your team. Tefreakers can stop people from getting executed and stuff like that. Poof the Sheep is there. It just gets so hard. And who are you going to insect? You only got 2 targets, really.
I'm not going to lie. I thought you were just about to drop a Ghostbusters reference with who are you going to call?
Who are you going to call? You know what? I'm not above that life.
I was prep cringing.
I'm above that, Xanator.
Thank you.
I'm not. I totally would have made that reference.
But I mean, guys,
I was saving it for big booty.
We're sitting at a 57-minute game. These games this weekend have been so close, and they've gone so long.
Yeah.
This just shows that the skill of the teams, they respect each other enough that these teams aren't just trying to make these ridiculous plays. I mean, we're so far ahead.
Maybe early on there was some ridiculousness.
Okay, maybe early on they were trying to flex their muscles, but
shook it out of their system, and now we've got a very, very good game here.
And going towards the late
Going
game.
the distance. This is so close. I think this is our closest game to date, other than, probably more close than that other one, but there's a fight here.
There's more money going in. The Ashore came in as well, and Panda's going to be the first one to go down, and that's going to be valuable for Vicious and Delicious, but maybe not close enough to the rest of the members with Thunderducks. They're going in. Unbreakable Will there was popped by Mo Money, but it's just not going to be enough. They don't have the follow-up, but, I mean, Panda's dead for 60 more seconds.
That is huge. He's been so crucial to Thunderducks' team fight, and now that he's gone, it's going to be a third dragon in a row for
Another
Vicious and
denial.
Delicious.
Yeah, really good decision here by the Thunderducks to push out mid lane. They've only got one wave pushing them for themselves. That's Vicious and Delicious, and that is the farthest lane from them here. They're going to try and push out this mid lane, though. They've still got quite a while without Panda. 40 seconds now. I think the death timers are almost up to a minute and a half.
Max.
90
They
seconds.
max at, I'm pretty sure they max at just over 70 seconds.
Just over 70? They've been like 80 seconds for a while now, though, I think.
Okay, well, it does
Maybe
max
it's a little over.
It
It does
maxes
max, though?
it just over there, just around there.
Right.
But, I mean, there once again, we saw Durka save the arrow until he can for sure land it. A flash pulp into the arrow, and they picked up Panda before he was able to Zanya's or use his ulti, and that's what we need to really see from them.
Metaphor going in now as Durka gets exhausted. Metaphor just in the middle of the team again, not where he wants to be, but Tafrika's getting very low as well. Pops the ult as just summoners and abilities being used all over the place as Kindred and Sivir are the first two to go down. But Vicious and Delicious, they're still pushing here as Devmaster J is forced to flash. Metaphor incredibly low as well, but Panda shows up from the grave in the middle of the team. He is there, pops his Zonias. I don't know if it's going to save him long enough. Does pop the Chrono Break, but they're with 4 members there. He will go down to Durka. And can they finish this off? Devmaster J, very tanky. The 3 members of Thunderducks were able to go back to the fountain and regain their health. So they should be able to fight off Vicious and Delicious here. But they do have a wave coming.
This game has just been so back and forth, and I feel like Thunderducks are actually panicking in these team fights. They're not really getting the focus, but Vicious and Delicious are doing very well at peeling them off of it. Poop just goes up there, just stubs his toe on that turret and picks it up. But Vicious and Delicious have shown just this incredible resilience all weekend, going to these long games and showing they don't falter even no matter how far behind they are.
I feel like Tafrika's Lamb's Respite there kind of saved the enemy team. He saved himself, but he was the only one in there, and then 3 of the enemies were in there, so I'm not sure about that one. The Wombo combo landed on top of that ultimate, so maybe saving the enemy team. It's hard to figure out when to use that. Kind of like Bard, I compare it to, and it's really hard to decide when you need to use it. So.
I think the big problem, though, is they try and assassinate Tafreakers before he can ult, and they didn't have the damage.
Almost like Vicious and Delicious are trying to do to Panda, and they're finding success in doing, right?
And that's crucial. If you can completely eliminate a member before he's able to do anything, you're basically opening yourself up to have a free kill, and it gives you a huge advantage at this point in the team fight. Especially you pick off Panda like that. He has a decent amount of CC and a high amount of damage and mobility, so he can get to your carries very easily.
Yeah, I feel like they're not going to succeed in trying to kill the Freakers before he's, becomes unstunned or whatever, because there's just not that much CC besides Devmaster J and Panda's stuns, right? And it takes a little bit of time to get the concussive blows from Devmaster J, and Panda's got to set up the parallel convergence, whereas the CC from Vicious and Delicious is a lot more straightforward. You headbutt Paul into the arrow.
With the sheep gonna get cut out here. Narbar he might get it at the end here, but he does get over the wall, rolls over the wall, but he does go down. Narbar was not close enough, and that's 1 member down here for Vicious and Delicious. Thunderducks are looking to follow up here. Now going around to Freakers and Durka, as Durka does have will go down there eventually. There we go. And now who are they going to go in onto next? Mo Money still very big with that Unbreakable Will. And actually goes back in and doing a lot of damage onto Panda, but Devmaster J comes forward with that Unbreakable Shield. And Mo Money just caught back, getting slowed here, and he goes down as well. 2 Metaphor, Taeyang going right in here on the surviving 2 members of Vicious and Delicious. Zanya's is popped there by Bakery Boy. They're just going to wait it out. But Devmaster J and Taeyang both pretty low here. I don't know if they're going to be able to finish this off, as they don't have the minions here to take the turret. But Panda, full health, gets the turret. They will get the inhibitor here to Freakers and Bakery Boy back at the fountain, recharging. And Thunderducks here maybe will smartly just back off.
Yeah, they're too low. They really can't defend this one. Freakers might even get a kill here on Taeyang.
Yeah, the problem is, can they outrun Tafreakers? He's got a ton of mobility. If he drops that Wolf's Frenzy, he's going to be able to dance of arrows more frequently.
Oh, but Tafreakers actually sees Metaphor coming in from the side lane, and he's going to back off as well. And just worth noting here that we are above 60 minutes here, 1 hour into Game 2 between Vicious and Delicious and
Look
the
at this gold.
Thunderducks.
Look at this gold. 104,000 to 104,000. 41 to 40 are the kills. This game is so close. I think we found our evenly matched teams here in the final.
Which is what you should have
What
in
a
the
better
finals.
time. What a better time. We're really deciding which one is the better team here. And right now, I have trouble choosing which one's going to come out on top of this one. It's anyone's game.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys though. The true MVP of that last fight was whoever put that ward over the wall, as Metaphor kicked him over the wall, and you can't actually last breath unless you have vision of that target.
Oh, but now Taeyang Poof the Sheep. Taeyang exhausts Poof, but Poof goes Mega now. Action in the top lane as well as Bakery Boy flashes backwards. The Kindred ult coming out as well. And who will be the first to go down as members from both teams are low, and Durka picks up the first kill on a Pulse as Metaphor goes down as well, but Taeyang did take out Poof the Sheep, but Panda very low here. More money, just a big old cow coming in here looking for the kill onto Panda. Durka's there well, and it does. He just jumps on top of him in that bush, and that's a 3-for-1 for Vicious and Delicious at this point. But again, all these team fights keep happening, but none of them have been decisive enough to finish the game.
This one is going to be decisive enough to finish the game. I'm going to say, once again, I don't think I'm going to be wrong here in saying that this game might be over. Taeyang, not a ranged champion. He's
This is the only thing he's going to be able to do. He has a ton of... Yes,
Cam?
he does have a ton of super creeps going in there, but I don't think he's going to be able to take down those turrets fast enough. He's going against basically 2 AD carries as
They're
with
onto the Nexus turrets.
Durka
Glacial
and
Fissure
Kindred.
comes out from Devmaster J. The first Nexus turret is down. They are on to the second one, and I think this finally will be it. Taeyang is back, but they are on to the Nexus. The ranged members of Vicious and Delicious doing work, and at 63 minutes and 45 seconds, our winner of Game 2 is Vicious and Delicious.
Holy cow.
Whew, I am
what
sweating.
A game.
I-
I just got to control myself here
Okay.
from passing out. That was such a long, extended game.
For all the ultis that Bakery Boy missed, that ulti and then Kindred, the rest of his team collapsing, he saved himself. Team came, saved his own Heine, and then they turn it. They pick up those kills. They turn around. That was incredible for how far behind they were into that game, and that's what we said. You were wondering if they just do one quick push. They took the small objectives. They never overcommitted, and it was just very well played, and that's where the team comp outscaled, I think.
Yeah.
That Kindred being a huge factor.
Metaphor became so irrelevant there at the end of that game.
Yeah, he did what he could. That's just the nature of the champion,
Yeah.
right? It's the danger you face. Why didn't you pick Lee Sin? And against the Kindred, it just didn't work out in there. Kindred, that ultimate at the end, the Lamb's Respite to save Bakery Boy.
Yeah.
It looked like it was like all going downhill. Bakery Boy was caught out pretty hard behind enemy lines, flashing away and getting the Lamb's Respite, and then using his Zhonya's later on to save himself even further. That just totally saved the game. Not all of Thunderducks was there. Taeyang wasn't even there. He was mid lane. And the rest of Vicious and Delicious just collapsed around Bakery Boy. The support staff was there all game, and when it finally mattered, Bakery Boy says, "Come here, boys, I need ya," and they say, "We got you,
And
buddy,"
I got
and we
this
got the
one.
game.
And that's why that champion is just so bloody good when you have a team that is behind, and then you have the wombo to equal the field, heal up, and you're basically back to even. And it's so good. If that champion makes it through to Vicious and Delicious, I don't think we'll see a game 4.
You know what? If it didn't make it through this game, I think there would have been a lot of a different story to this one.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been that. I don't think it would have been as close as it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, sorry, I was to say,
Go ahead.
we're going to take a break here. We need a break. I think you guys watching probably need a break. Maybe go wipe off. I mean, I think I need to put on a new shirt. I'm just sweating mad through this. I got some mean pancakes going on. So we're going to take a break, but stick around because Game 3 is going to be very exciting.